A very good morning to one and all. We welcome you all to the day 3 of the Vidya Sambhashna Parishad 2025. Let's begin our day with a power-packed and insightful session on Chikitsa of Dushta Pratishyaya and Abhishyanda. To begin with, we are very honored to have Dr. Lakshmi Patil ma'am, a renowned expert in Ayurveda, as our moderator. With her extensive experience in treating ENT and ophthalmic disorders, Dr. Patil ma'am brings invaluable expertise to the session.
Dr. Lakshmi Patil ma'am completed her BAMS from Mahaganapati Ayurveda Medical College, Dharwad, and PG from Government Ayurveda Medical College, Bengaluru. Ma'am has presented various papers in national conferences and national webinars. Ma'am having 15 years of teaching experience, and she is exceptionally admired by the students for her teaching skills and practical applications of Kriya Kalpas. And ma'am is presently working as professor and head of the department in Shalakya Tantra, Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya Hospital, Hubballi. With the deepest respect, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming one of our favorite Bishop Varyas, Vaidya Lakshmi Patil ma'am.
We are privileged to have two distinguished speakers with us. Dr. Uday Shankar sir, a renowned clinician, academician with profound expertise in ENT and Ayurvedic treatment protocols. His vast experience and research contributions have made significant advancements in this field. We are very honored to have you here with us, sir. We heartily welcome you.
Dr. Uday Shankar sir completed BAMS from RGHS, MD from ITRA Jamnagar in Shalakya Tantra, and also PG Diploma in Yoga from Mangaluru University. Sir is a former professor and HOD in Shalakya Tantra and KDG Ayurveda College, Surya, Karnataka. Sir is a founder and director of Benaka Health Center, Madikeri in Karnataka. Sir has conducted training programs under Nippon School of Ayurveda and Hatay Clinic, Tokyo in Japan. Sir was a keynote speaker at the 37th Annual Meet of Ayurveda Society in Japan. Conducted workshops on Ayurveda treatments in Tokyo and Osaka of Japan. Sir is an expert panelist and invited speaker at various national seminars on
Namaste everyone. Bowing heads to lotus feet of Lord Dhanvantari and Kshetra Murti and Chala Pratima of Charaka Samhita Anand Dharmadikari sir. I welcome you all to this mega event of day 3 of the Vidya Sambhashna Parishad. Today's event is quite interesting, and for just to see the title, it looks very simple. Right? What is Pratishtha? What is Abhishandra? But after listening to the stalwarts over the dais, you can feel, oh, Abhishandra is this much and Pratishtha is so much. So that energy can be drawn from all the three respected dignitaries on the dais. All three are my teachers in one or the other way. Dr. Lakshmi Patil Madam, Professor and Head, she is my teacher from the UG studies. She is guiding me in my clinical practice if in case I get any Shalakya cases in my private practice. Dr. M. Prasad sir, I met him on online basis. COVID helped me to join M. Prasad sir at the time. We were with Pampa Association of Kerala every day morning for Charaka Adhyayana and Adhyapana. And one day we were talking as a debate where Mantrena Amram Padativana. So like that, how Vedas are really working, Mantra Uchara has meaning or not, and sir was against to me with Murli sir that no mantra will work out. So in that way, basically he believes more of mantra than anyone else. Still as a challenge he accepted it and he was. And then that is how we met Prasad sir, and the journey continued. He was waiting for me at Coimbatore in the conference a couple of months ago, though he was getting late to travel to his native. Just for my arrival, he was waiting for all the way hours together. So humbled to have Dr. M. Prasad sir at his age and at his busy practice schedule. As I know, sir is the most competent practitioner of autism. Whole day the OPD is full of autism. You can approach sir for any of your queries related to autism later. But autism turns to be a very big concept. Understanding needs more information, basic information with us. Hence, in coming days, we may cover such vyadhis with Dr. M. Prasad sir. And there is we don't have any words to express gratitude to Uday Shankar sir that he travelled so many days. He was a couple of days ago at Delhi, Chandigarh, and now he straight away travelled from there to Bangalore to Athani, and again today he is travelling back to Madikeri, that is Coorg. So very humbled to have all three scholars over the dais. And thank you all for joining at the best possible earliest hours. We'll have 2 hours marathon journey with both the speakers and the moderators. Over to Dr. Lakshmi Patil Madam.
Namaste. Thank you, Dr. Saurabh. Atulitamanathamam hemashailavadeham dhanujamanakashanam dhyaninam agraganyam sakalamunidhanam vanaranam adisham raghupati priya bhaktam vatajatam namami. So at this divine place of Sri Ramatirtha, so it is having a specific history of Lord Rama coming over here. So my heartfelt namaskars to Lord Shiva, Lord Rama and Lord Hanuman, and let us offer salutations to all the lords, and let us start with today's concept, that is the Chikitsa of Pushpa Pratishtha. I even offer my humble salutations to both respected speakers, by Dr. Prasad sir and Dr. Shankar sir. So, as an introductory note, I want to say something about Pushpa Pratishtha and Abhishandra. In Shalakya Tantra, both of these are considered very important clinical, that is, they are of more clinically significant disorders, Uralatrugata Rogas. the Samprapti and most of the Lakshanas are same, but still there are some differences. And today we are here to analyze the different views of our Acharyas. Okay, both the respected speakers will be sharing their opinions and they will be giving their valuable inputs on Pratishaya and Abhishanda. So the PPTs, the slides will be there in front of you. It will be starting as Dushya Pratishaya is considered as Upadrama of Pratishaya by Acharya Sushruta. So let us start with Pratishaya and the importance of Abhishanda and Pratishaya both are here. Importance of Abhishanda. Prayana sarve nayanamayastu bhavanti Abhishanda nimitta mulaha tasmat Abhishandam udiryamanam upachare ashu hitaya dhiman. First chapter of Uttara Tantra, wrote by Sushruta itself, is studying the importance, the significance of Abhishanda. Prayana sarve, not all. So later on it will be covered by both the speakers. Prayana sarve, most of the diseases wherein Samanetra is involved. So again, if there is Sama, again you have to come back to the Agni and Koshta reference. Chikitsa, again you have to deal with certain references. So Prayana sarve nayanamayastu bhavanti Abhishanda nimitta mulaha, as told by Sushruta. It is the nimitta mula karana. Abhishanda is considered as the nimitta mula karana for most of the vyadhis of netra. Tasmat Abhishanda udiryamanam upachare ashu. Ashu hitaya dhiman. Here the word ashu carries lot of meaning. So that immediately when the Samprapti of Abhishanda starts, we have to significantly concentrate on the Samprapti of Abhishanda. Then we have to find out the cause and then we have to start the treatment itself. Number of references we are coming across for this particular shloka. Then importance of Pratishaya. First we will be dealing about Abhishanda in detail. Then we will be coming on Pratishaya. So graphically speaking, the importance of Pratishaya. Bhuishtam vyadaya sarve Pratishaya nimittajaha tasmat rogaha Pratishaya purvameva upadishyate. Charaka Chikitsa, Chakrapani Tika. Okay, it is Bhuishtam vyadaya sarve Pratishaya nimittajaha. So much importance has been given for Pratishaya. So before going to Dushya Pratishaya, the basics of Pratishaya we have to be perfected. The basics of Pratishaya, it includes so many treatment protocols. When we come to the treatment of Pratishaya, we have to deal with the treatment of Rajyakshma, Dhatukshaya Chikitsa, Krimi Chikitsa, okay, Uroghata or Urakshata Chikitsa. So number of treatment protocols, we cannot just ignore Pratishaya Vyadhi. That itself we are going to discuss today. And Acharya Charakatas, Tasma Purvopadishyate, hence I am explaining about Pratishaya initially. So with this introductory note, let us begin our discussion on Abhishanda. I hand over to Dr. Uday Shankar sir to speak on Abhishanda. Thank you.
गणाधीशं सहस्राक्षं स्वगुरुं च सरस्वती जनकं जनयत्रीं च शास्त्रादौ प्रणमाम्यहम्। नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यंबकाय त्रिपुरांतकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकंठाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय शंकराय मृत्युंजयाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय Sitaya Pataya Namaha. I am very much thankful to the organizers and very delighted to have the company of esteemed speakers like Vaidya Prasad and Dr. Lakshmi Patil. And we can have a small discussion on what exactly is Abhishanda and what are its implications and how we can handle it from our classical viewpoint. When we consider Abhishanda, it appears that this is an eye disease. But actually the word Abhishanda is not related to any eye disease. Next slide. It is actually Abhishanda is a guna in the next slide. Next. Yeah. It is a guna, Paichilya, because of the Pichilata and Snigdha guna. Whenever there is some stickiness, that is called as Abhishanda. We consider Abhishanda as a Netra Roga. The classical texts have given different types of Abhishanda, different areas of Abhishanda. Next slide, please. This first is down. Here, Abhi means Abhi over or Abhi excessive, or Abhi means all around. So, Abhi stands for various excessive activities. Syanda has also different meanings. One of the meanings streaming, tricking, or it may also suggest running or flowing. So with the word Abhishanda, we understand that it is an excessive flow or it is excessive running material. Where this actually happening? We'll go to the next. Sushruta describes Abhishanda as Doshadatu Malasrotasam, Kleda Prapti Janana Abhishandi. Dosha Dhatu Malana, Kleda Janakam. Kleda Prapti Janakam. That is called as Abhishanda. Whenever you have Kleda in Dosha, or Kleda in Dhatu, or Kleda in Mala, that is called as Sushruta's definition of Abhishanda. Abhishandi, Avarna the Kledani, Srotam Siti Abhishanda, Dalana comments. Next slide. So Abhishanda is Rudhya, which we have seen that yesterday we had long discussions on how Koshta, Shaka, Vigavanam and Shaka, Koshta. Here Rudhya, Abhishandana, this is again Abhishanda. It's a method. Rudhya, Abhishandana, Taka, Sroto, Mukha, Shaka, Mukha, Mala, Koshta, Yati, Vayushta, Vigraha. That means Shaka, when the doshas are in the Shaka, to take it back to the Koshta, or to take it back to the our excretory part, we should take to the Koshta. For that one, Abhishanda is a useful guna. You have to make Abhishanda so that it will come back to the Srotas. Dosha, Yanti, Tayatebhya, Sroto, Mukhamishwadana, Rudhya, Abhishandana. This is Ashtanga Vyas words. Here again, Abhishandanancha, you can see, it is also a method of clear the Janana. Next one. Next. In Charaka we have a different this one. In Nidanasthana of Kushtanidan again we have seen Dosha Abhishandamana Manyam Asadhyam Upayanti. So when the doshas are in Abhishanda avastha or Abhishanda guna is pervaded into the doshas, Kushta or any disease that becomes incurable. Abhishanda is also described in the same way Ayurveda Deepika commentary. Next slide. In Ayurveda Rasayana commentary, Uro Abhishanda is mentioned. Whenever you have in chest region there is Abhishanda guna, patient will have Udarta or allergic rashes or Shita or Udarta for that ray of diseases. That's also called as Abhishanda. We have post-Abhishanda. Post-Abhishanda because Ashtanga Vyas says that Nisham Tebet Pratarna, this is the treatment. Atirokya Anagachana. Whenever you have problems in the post and because of excessive oleation, excessive snena from two roots, there is a chance of having Abhishandatva in posta, and it should be treated with one interesting combination. Prata, Nagara, Dhamyambara, Postnam, Kevalam, Evava. the hot or decoction, warm decoction of Dhanya and Nagara that should be given to remove the Avishandatva from the coaster. Here again, Ratri Yadisneyastataha Parinatva Prasadida Samatam Gataha Gata Pravate Shunti Dhanyakam Mukha Krishnam Pide. So when there is an Avishanda in the coaster, Shunti Dhanyaka Kashaya or Prata Nishevana is also recommended. Next page. We have Abhishanda in Sarva Sharira. All over the body also we can have Abhishanda. Let's mention Abhisanne. The word Abhisanne stands for Abhishanda. Abhisanne Shariri to Yakshino Samachana Kanta Pravartate Raktam Sleshmata Chavuklista Sanchita. In all over the body, Sarva Sharira, if there is a Abhishandatva, patient will have Rakta Pravarti from Kanta or Urdhvagata Rakta Pita. That's also a complication of Abhishanda. Saraktam, Kapam, Asyatiti, Aduktam, Tallakshanam, Pivrinoti, Abhisanniti, Abhidaha, Sannam, Abhisanna, Abhishandeti, Pada. Pakshe, Abhishanda Grihita, Tatyartha. Next slide. Again, in the Buddha and Yoni, we can have Abhishanda Roga. Not only in Netra, we can have Buddha Abhishanda. In Buddha Abhishanda, Natvam Pranayasneham Sa Abhishanda Yed Buddham, Savashesham Purvita, Vayusheshetu, Tishtati. So again, in Ubhayasmat Samam Gachan, Vatam, Advinta Dushe. Because of Abhishanda in the Buddha Pradesha, patient will have a lot of complications. And similarly, in Yoni Roga Adhyaya, in Ashtanga itself, we have Bhushya Roga Vijnani Adhyaya that describes Kafaja Abhishanda Yoni Roga, Yoni Marga. So that's also Vamini Yoni Vyava. That is also a form of Abhishanda. Kafo Abhishanda Abhi Kruddha Kurya Yonim Avedanam Shitalam Kandalam Pandum Pichilam Tat Vidasrutim. So in Yoni Rogas also we have Abhishanda. So Abhishanda is not a disease of the eye itself. It can have any part of the body can be affected with Abhishanda and it has its own complications. Next slide. So how this Abhishanda actually occurs in our eyes, or why Netra Abhishanda is very, very popular, very, very important disease. You will see the onset and progression of the disease. In Netra Abhishanda, any disease presenting with profuse discharges from the eye. The discharges may be of anything. It may be watery discharge, it may be pus discharge, it may be blood, or it may be mucus, or it may be mixed type of discharge. Any discharge from the eye is called as Abhishanda. Sarve Akshiroga Yakka Yodayante Senda Purvakaha. All Senda stands for Abhishanda here. All eye diseases are produced from Abhishanda is one state. Again, of course, there are some exceptions. Some of the diseases, some eye diseases are not related to Abhishanda. Commentators discuss which are not related to Abhishanda and which are all diseases related to Abhishanda. Because why actually all eye diseases are related with Abhishanda? Ashtanga says, Yatasta Raktam Sandukhya Tan Atah Tvaraya Jaye Sarva Urdhvajatrugata Srotasyandana Sandauchate. Because it is not just the eye discharges or the discharges from the eyes. It is the involvement of rakta that makes the disease spread into other places, spread into entire all parts of the eye. Sacharoga Sarvesham Urdhvajatrugataanam Srotasam Syandana Sravana Sandaichuchate. The word is further explained by Indru's Shashilekha commentary. So all these eye diseases are from Abhishanda. Jimini is an exception. Describes it again. In the first line of Ashtanga Hridayas, Sarvakshara is mentioned. Sarvagata Roga Vijnani Madhyayam Vyakyasama. He says, Sarvagata Vijnaniya Sarvashriya Roga Vijnaniya Ityarthaha. Krishna Mandala Pratyasatya Drishtigata Roga Vijnaniyo Ujjate. So up to our Sandhigata Rogas or Vartmagata Rogas, Krishnagata Rogas. This is okay up to this level, Shuklagata Rogas, it is from the Abhishanda. But later diseases, you can see, Krishna Mandala Pratyasatya Drishti Roga Vijnaniyo Ujjate. Before starting the Drishtigata Roga, he said, commentator says, they started Abhishanda Sarvakshara because till this level, they are all the inheritance or related to the Abhishanda. But later on, the Purvam Sarvagata Roga Vijnaniyarma, Sadrishtigata Roga Tiviradinam अविष्यन्द निमित्तत्वं न स्यात् इति बोधयति. So Timida or Linganasha or Bhagya or Agantya Linganasha, they are not related to the Avishyanda to some level, but they are also related, but in general they are not related to the Avishyanda. So Sandhyadigatananda Syanda Karanatvam Bodhayati. Only for these diseases Avishyanda is responsible. Next we go. Further I say that whenever a disease presenting with some problem in the vision, if Avishyanda is related with some other problem in the vision, visual disturbances, then that particular disease becomes incurable, or it becomes either Kritrasadhya or Asadhya. Bhashya punardvavya sampravishyam nimittataschapi animittatascha. There are two diseases, one is nimittaja or another one is animittaja linganasya. Blindness because of the specific causes or non-specific causes. Nimittata and animittata. Nimittata tatra shiroditapa tapajaye avishyanda nidarshanishcha. Nimittata diseases, whichever you can able to identify the cause of the blindness, cause of the visual disturbances, those diseases you can try with the Avishyanda Chikitsa. You should manage with the Avishyanda Chikitsa. Whereas other diseases, there is no cure. This is further commentary from the Dalanda. Next slide. What are the predisposing factors? Why actually person will suffer from Avishyanda? There are a lot of explanations in the classical text. Of course, in the first chapter we have the Ishna Vitaptasya Jala Pravesha, Durekshana, Swapna Viparyayacha, Prasakta Samrodhana, Kopashoka, Klesha Vigata, Atimaitunacha. All there is a big list. In addition to this general description of Netraroga Vidana, we have several other factors. Like in children getting repeatedly eye discharges because of Dantodvedasya Roganam Sarvesham Karanam. Visheshat Jwara Vitveda Kasa Charvi Shirogam Avishyandasya Potakya. So with the young children, with the infants, whenever they have Dantodveda, they can also produce Avishyanda. Next slide. In corneal ulcer, you may be knowing about if a person is injured, his eye is injured, there is non-damage in the corneal region. It's called as Savrana Shukla, Avrana Shukla, Jata Jata, Akshipaka, various stages of the corneal ulcers. Again, in corneal ulcer, instead of becoming Avishyanda a harmful factor, in corneal ulcers are Savrana Shukla. If Avishyanda is associated with it, it becomes a favorable factor. You can see. सर्वगतविज्ञाने इदानीं सवर्णं शुक्रं प्रतिपाद्य अवर्णं प्रतिपादयन्नः सितमित्यादि संदात्मकम् अविष्यन्दकारणं विहायसेव आकाशेव अच्छ घनानुकारी प्रतनं मेघखण्डानुकारी इत्यर्थः रक्तजनितं साध्यञ्च. Here again says that whenever there is a srava or whenever it is in the earlier stages presenting with the ulcers and discharges, that becomes curable. Suppose if the patient has gone further advanced stages and eye becomes devoid of any discharges and only the cornea becomes completely opaque, then it becomes medically difficult to cure. We have to take some other appropriate measures. Next slide. So, treat the Avishyanda. Usually when we treat the diseases, usually when the disease is manifested completely, whereas in Avishyanda it's quite different. Pragrupa eva Chandeshu Tikshnam Gandushanavanu. Before the onset of the disease, before the Purvarupa Lakshan itself, we have to treat Kalaye Rupavasancha Kopa Anyatra Vachajan. If it is not treated in the Pragrupa stage, the patient may go into the Vata Prakopa and lot of complications if not attended properly. Here, Purvarupa eva Shirovireka, Kavala, Dhuma, Upavasan, Asereka, Anyatra, Marutodreka, both Ashtan Tude and Ashtan Sangra specify that treatment of Avishyanda should start in the Pragrupa stage or just before the onset of dosha lakshanas. Then what will be your diagnostic approach? Just before that, I will request Dr. Prasad to introduce the topic. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. covering up the highlights of Dr. Uday Shankar sir's presentation. He mainly highlighted on the arrangement of Netra Vyadis. So when we see the arrangement of Netra Vyadis, Sandhi, Varma, Shukla, Krishna, Sarva and then Drishti. So as already told, Abhishamla is Sarvagata Roga. So till that we have the inflammatory diseases. Then we have Tibira, which is explained in Drishtigata Roga. And the second point was, see, Abhishamla does not only occur in Netra, even the Koshta, Uda and Yoni Pradesha, and accordingly we are giving the treatment depending on the Nidana. Then he also has covered the Chikitsa aspect, that is Samanitra Chikitsa he has covered. So wherein Dalana gives the shloka Swetaha Pralaya Patiktanam Dhumo Dinachatushthayam Langanam cha Akshiroganam Amanam Pachanani Shat. So these are the 6 types of Amapachana. And even Yogaratnakara explains Akshikukshi Bhavaroga Pratishyaya Vranajvara Panchaite Pancharatrena Roga Nashyanti Langana. The importance of Langana Chikitsa has been told. And when the yogas also he has described. So I now hand over the mic to Vaidya Prasad sir to continue with Abhishamla. Thank you.
Chaturmukhasamarambham Vakphadaacharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Vedamudam Sankante Paramparam. Respected Dharmadhikari, Mrs. and Mr. Trilokji, respected Chair, respected Uday Shankar sir, other dignitaries, my dear Dr. Saurabh and his team, a humble pranams to all of you. And first of all, I express my happiness and gratitude for having me with you all in this wonderful and auspicious situation. Uday Shankar sir has already made a very beautiful and holistic view of Abhishamla. Some of the points are so important because when we consider the problem with our learning and understanding of the Samhitas or the Shastra as a whole, is that we take the words out of their context. That happens very frequently. And sometimes we tend to misinterpret because of this problem. Abhishamla is such a word. And Uday Shankar sir's description has thrown light to that threat of misunderstanding Abhishamla in a different context. This is true with every word. The context gives the meaning, isn't it? Context gives the meaning. So that is very important. We find the word Abhishamla or related words to Abhishamla in many contexts. And all these words in different contexts do not carry the same meaning. So we have to understand what is the intention. Generally what we do is we tend to drag acharyas to our place, to our vicinity, and put our words in their mouth. But if we have to understand what they have tried to explain, we have to go to them and listen to them. We are not supposed to be preoccupied by our yardsticks. Even the commentators have done that, they have put their mouth in their words in the Acharya's mouth. So, as vikaras or vyadhis, these two things what we are going to discuss, that means Abhishamla as well as Pratishyaya, they are very interesting because they cover very big deal of the entire spectrum of vikaras. I tried to understand the Salakya vikaras in particular and all vikaras in general under these two words. In Salakya Tantra, we can even go to the extreme statement of that there are only two diseases in Salakya. One is Abhishyanda and the other one is Pratishyaya. And we interestingly saw that sort of statements. Prayana sarve nayanamayastu bhavanti abhishyanda nidiktamunda. And regarding Pratishyaya also we saw similar statement. All diseases are connected with the Pratishyaya, so we will discuss Pratishyaya first. Abhishyanda fundamentally, Hideshandas are told that it is about a tendency, a potential to flow. Abhi indicates the profuseness, and it is that way it is even interpreted as the profuse vritti of doshas to an extent that it has got the potential to start flowing at any time, and at times it happens. Then I think again we will not use the term Abhishyanda in general context, but in Netratilsa we will continue to call it as Abhishyanda. There are some other terms which are to be understood and associated with Abhishyanda. One is Kledam, isn't it? One Kledam is again a word which is widely used in different contexts, isn't it? Then another word is Utklesam, Utklishtam. We find word Utklishtam in different contexts. Sometimes these words Utklishtam and Abhishyandam can be seen used interchangeably, but in specific context they will not be the same. Say for example, our intention of Snehavanam and Svedanam is to bring Utklesanam to the dharus, doshas. There we repeatedly use the word Utklesanam, but never use the word to bring about Abhishyanda to the doshas. There we specifically use it as it is for bringing about Utklesanam. Even those words are again tricky words. That means Utkledam and Utklesam. We can find these words used interchangeably in the textbooks. But I think those who are experts in Sanskrit language and grammar need not agree with it. One word is coming from Klig dhatu, whereas the other one is coming from Klish dhatu. Utkledanam is to bring about some sort of a wet structure or stuff into something. That is about the Klig. Whereas Klish is to make something unsteady. So Utklesanam is actually in the Snehapanam with the Svedanam we are trying to bring both. So together we use Utklesanam as a common word. Before that the other one should be happening. So whether this is same as Abhishyandam, is it the procedure and happenings in this Utkledam or Utklishtam and Abhishyandam are same? In some context, yes. In some context, no. See, in Snehapanam, we use Satya Snehanam.